This is an interesting video, Pauline. We look at the international world. We look at someone holding a great book. A great book. I think I found one in the library behind the Parliament in Victoria. And I think I saw an imperial crown, not a St Edward's crown, on the table of that little wooden box in between all those books there in the Red House in Victoria. In the Red House in Victoria, it's right there on the bench in front of them. And they're blind to seeing it, Pauline. They're totally blind to seeing it. They must put paperwork on it every day, Pauline. Paperwork on it every day and ignore it, Pauline. Totally ignore it. So let's have a look at the international world as someone flexes some sort of supreme law in front of the entire world, Pauline. In front of the entire world.
Going this way? Which way is he going?
Do you remember, Pauline, that there was this massive shit fight going on? Remember, Pauline? But between these factions inside the American government, Pauline, remember? And half of America was on fire and all this shit was going on. And they were in the Washington DCs and they were up on the park and they put all these fences. They put all these fences up to stop all the people trampling up and getting closer to where the president was. And then the president decided, like, fuck this. So let's just demonstrate a message to the entire world, Pauline, to the entire world. So here we have him coming out with military establishment, Pauline, military establishment. You can see man in green on the right there. You can see the Secret Service. Ooh, not so Secret Service. And they're there protecting the president. As he's about to walk down, he's got something in his hands, Pauline. He's got something in his hands.
Mr. President, are you prepared to use the military against U.S. citizens?
Press, we're going. Press, let's go. Come on, guys, let's go.
Did you hear that, Pauline? Did you hear that? Holy moly moly, holy goly moly. Are you prepared to use the military on US citizens, Mr. Trumpy Trumpy? Are you prepared to turn the military on your own soil? Nah, we'll let the IRS do that. We'll give them more guns than the Marines have got. We'll give them more ammunition than the entire United States military, and we'll let the tax collectors do that. They're about to call in all that movable property on behalf of that Popey. Didn't he call in all movable property by letter? I don't know how long ago that was, Pauline. A few months ago, last year, a few months ago. He still called in all movable property, Pauline, and the tax collectors already came through Queensland. They went collecting on all these people's properties, and they took cars and boats and trucks. They took homes of people, Pauline, just for state debts, Pauline. State debts enforced on them by police in a burden of warfare, Pauline. A burden of warfare called a financial burden pushed upon them by foreign colonial power on their soil, just for the sheer fact that they can. Just for the sheer fact that they can, Pauline. In a slavery, Pauline. In a slavery. A real world slavery, Pauline. Where you enslaved these people by the state and kept them poor. By doing that. Doing exactly that, Pauline.
Start moving back. Start moving back.
Guys, hey guys.
David, guys, let's back up. Press, let's go. Press, we're backing up. Come on, guys. All right, we're good. Press, let's go. Press, let's go. Come on. Guys, we gotta go. All the way to the right. Let's go. Everyone to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right.
That kind of reminds me of that time in Melbourne at the King's Domain, Pauline. At the King's Domain, where our people were talking to the police, and the police said to the media, "Get back, get back. We don't want you to hear what's going on. Get back, get back." And they tried to get all the media back, and the media got pushed back like 20 metres, Pauline, so they couldn't hear what was being discussed between people and the police. Just couldn't hear it, because I'm sure if they got that on the audios, they would have hit the medias like a shitstorm, Pauline, like a shitstorm. So the police, they said, get back, you can't record this stuff, get back. And then after that event, Pauline, like they said, it's time to move on now, you finished your event, you might incite others into violence, Pauline, that's what they said. We might incite others into violence. We're not thugs like the police, Pauline, we're not thugs like the police that incite people into violence every day. We're peacekeepers, we're peacemakers, Pauline. So I don't see how inciting people into violence would even come into it. But then those police, right, they went off to the side of the shrine, and they got one of their plainclothes officers, right, and they dragged him down the footpath towards the cameras, Pauline. They dragged him down the footpath towards the cameras, and they forcibly masked him on the cameras, Pauline. Forcibly masked someone on the cameras for the propaganda. And that appeared on Channel 9 like that night at 6 p.m, like it was the major shitstorm story. Of them masking their own officer by force, Pauline, by force. And they wouldn't have gotten away with that with a civilian, because that's an international war crime. But they can use their own officers to create that kind of propaganda, and they can sort of work with Channel 9 and Channel 7 to film that propaganda and get caught the fuck out doing it. And not only that, Pauline, get caught out on a video camera doing it, like as we watch it from another city. That's the unfortunate thing here. But we have Trump here, and it's very much the same circumstances. And I want you to consider here that there are offences up separating those working class from the president here. The working class are burning the city down outside the fence, Pauline. They're having childish tanties, like they're in protest mode, because protest and dishonour, you know, that stuff at law. Well, they're in dishonour mode, aren't they, Pauline? So they're about to get squashed by the police. But someone's about to flex some sort of supreme law before the entire world, Pauline. Before the entire world.
Hey, come all the way back. Okay. All the way back. Go all the way back. Dave. All the way back. Come on, guys. That way, Bob. Matt, you coming this way, mate? Keep right.
Why did I pick this video, Pauline? Because it's raw, and it has some of that people speaking in the background, and it demonstrates the ineptness of the media and not being pre-thought out about how to get back and film this man walk smoothly. See the guy at the fence there with the camera? And he's just standing there, nicely poised, waiting. He zoomed in. He's got his shot. He's ready to roll. And we're watching man running around like all the tards running around outside the fence, Pauline. You remember that guy that shot the other guy? What was his name? Carl Rittenhouse. That was it, Pauline. And remember how he had a right to bear arms, and then they turned the whole entire Supreme Court upside down on carry arms in America, and that was because of all of this, Pauline. That was because of all of this. It's because you're all a bunch of scam artists, Pauline. And then Roe versus Wade, that all collapsed because you're a bunch of scam artists, Pauline. Total bunch of scam artists. This is what we're watching, isn't it? Woke agenda unfold as you try and collapse God. Well, God's with us. You can't collapse God. God's there. Tickety tock, 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 tock. See, Pauline, this photographer's about as adept as your Senate. Completely inept, right? Bumbling all over the place trying to find the president. And the president's right behind him. And he can't see the president. Pretty much like that crown that has the founding in that constitution, Pauline. It's right behind you, but you just can't see it, can you? You just need to turn around, open your eyes, look around, read some documents, and realise Supreme Court Justice didn't stuff around at law here. Justice Lonergan is a very, very smart lady. Very, 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 very smart lady. Like, I can't give this woman credit enough. Like, incredibly smart lady, Pauline. And you just go and ignore her words like that? Unbelievable. You're like this journalist here, bumbling all over the place, looking in the dark, trying to find the president. And you just can't find it, can you?
I've also just spotted Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner.
See that, Pauline? See that? See that? See that? Visual clue there? See that? They could have walked anywhere they wanted. Anywhere they wanted. They walked past. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. They could have walked anywhere they wanted, Pauline, but they walked past. Fuck the police. Right? They could have walked anywhere they wanted, Pauline, but that's where they chose to walk. I wonder why. I wonder why when the context, Pauline, the context.
Guys, let's move over here into the corner.
Hey, Kristen,
Hey, guys! Kristen.
Mr. President, your thoughts right now?
See it, Pauline? See it? Justice. Peace. Fuck the police. But then on the other side, there's the Soros BLM but he chose that. He chose to walk past there and cross the road. Where'd he go? Treaty again got something to do with it, Pauline. Treaty again got something to do with it. Where did he go, Pauline? Would that be the Church of Presidents 1812? Church of Presidents 1812, Pauline. We're about to watch something in front of the Church of Presidents, Pauline. So after bumbling around for like months, right? Like this photographer bumbling around over the road here, you kind of figured out something and you realised, holy crap, it's all coming together now. Totally all coming together. They're attacking us. They're undermining us. They're burning our cities to the ground. They're trying to divide us in an apartheid, like they've done to all these countries around the world, because all these people lost their faith and went bankrupt and played into the hands of moneylenders in their temple. The moneylenders in their temple, Pauline. The moneylenders in their temples, Pauline. And we're about to see something pretty cool. Something pretty cool. And we have to remember the Treaty of Ghent, 1816, if I remember correctly. Treaty of Ghent, Pauline, and then there was a Treaty of Paris before that, if I remember correctly, and then just try to remember, 1812, the 1812 Overture, kaboom, kaboom, remember, the cannons, right, and then, let me think, the largest US flag ever raised on a flagpole in the world, right? Because they defended something. And the Star-Spangled Banner. The Star-Spangled Banner 1812, Pauline. The Star-Spangled Banner 1812. These things must all add up, right? They must all add up, right, Pauline?
What are your thoughts right now?
So what did he say there, Pauline? What did he say there, Pauline? Bible from the White House. Bible from the library in the back of the Parliament at Victoria. I've got photos of it, Pauline. It says something about the Great War on the cover. You know, and embossed. It's embossed in gold. It's a fancy Bible, Pauline. Fancy Bible. Are you trying to undermine that, Pauline? Is that what you're trying to undermine? Doesn't your whole entire Senate duty depend on it? Depend on it, Pauline? Depend on it, Pauline. By your oath, Pauline.
We have a great country. That's my thoughts. This country in the world. Great. We will make it even. And it won't take long. It's not going to take long to see what's going on. It's coming back. It's coming back strong. It'll be greater than ever before.
Yeah, it might be now that all this corporate fraud's been laid out on the table. Hey, Pauline, and how minority populations tried to undermine the rest because some sort of military power tried to apartheid the country like they did to Palestine, British Palestine, Pauline, British Palestine. And they did the same thing to South Africa, Pauline. And I grew up in that. You can't excuse that. I saw that firsthand. I remember, you know, you don't go talk to that black kid. You get dragged away from the fence. You can't talk to the black kid and eat the sugar beet with the black kid because the sugar beet was so yummy. Yeah, you know, like I wanted to hang out with the black kid and he had the sugar beet and I liked the sugar beet. And the teachers, Pauline, the teachers, you can't hang out with the black kid. You can't hang out with the black kid. I knew what it was like, Pauline, and you're setting that up in this country. You're seeding that in this country. And we're looking at the very foundations of where all of your faith and biblical foundations to your oath of office come from, Pauline. Your oath of office. Your oath of office that you're all under duty to try to undermine since John Howard and before in the Menzies model. And now the Menzies model's warning about the WEF model, Pauline, and the eugenicists and all the international criminal offences, because the Menzies model was pretty good about not committing international criminal offences, but this WEF model, I think they like to be eugenicists, Pauline, eugenicists.
Brother was to further inflaming tensions by using the U.S. military, Mr. President. Are you prepared to use the president against the U.S.?
Are you prepared? No. Are you prepared to use military suppression orders? Suppression orders. 27 federal pedophiles suppression orders. Are you prepared to use military suppression? No. I'm prepared to let those Democrats fuck up all your shit so that you can see exactly what they are throughout all of history. I'm prepared to let them communise your communisty country. I'm prepared to let them manipulate certain races in your country and try and create an apartheid so that they out themselves for the eugenicists that they are, the manipulators and controllers of world society that they are. I'm just going to let the world crumble. And when you've all realised who's doing the crumbling, I'll come in behind and pick up all your fucking pieces. And all you woke tards, all you super woke tards, you know, like your insurrections, will go to jail. You'll go to jail. And then the rest of the country, or the rest of the world, will get to see the mayhem that was caused and those that were responsible, and it all gets cleaned up. And then we go back to usufruct as it was before, because we still have military machines and industrial complexes. They just can't enslave the people and put the debt on the people's backs. What flag was that, Pauline? Did you see it? Did you see it? And on the left, I should have mentioned it before, but on the left, did you see the lady's name was Haig? And we're in the Reverend and the church, and there's a flag there. Why would a church have a flag out front? Particular flag, Pauline. I'd like you to look it up. What flag is that, Pauline? Why is the president standing under this flag? And they're all looking up at it. Pauline. They all turned around to look up at the building, didn't they, Pauline? What's the Church of Presidents 1812, and why has he got a Bible, Pauline?
Okay, thank you very much. We have the greatest country in the world. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to keep it nice and safe.
See, now that we've returned to God, Pauline, and recognised the real line of authority under all of this, we could say to Trumpy boy here, nah, you're the second best country in all the world. The Commonwealth of Australia, Kingdom of Australia, that'll be the best country in all the world. We'll make it the best country in all the world. And we'll help you make your country the second best country in all the world, President Trump. We'll help you make your country the second best country in all the world, President Trump.
Hold for a sec, please.
So I'm not going to bother pulling up all the evidence, Pauline. Everybody's seen it before. And we saw it on that ship that came into the harbour in 2018. And we're talking about Obama's visit to Darwin. Where see those vehicles in the background there? They've probably got Washington, D.C. plates on them, don't they, Pauline? And when they arrived in Darwin, they went... and they landed in Darwin, and then his military vehicles with his Washington DC plates came into Darwin, didn't they? And there were police officers lined up on those streets for kilometres, Pauline, kilometres, just a parade show, because there was no one there, and then there was a few protesters in town that they cleaned up before, and there was a few snipers on the roof, and then all these fucking arsehole cops started zip-tying people and pushing people around, and Obama wasn't even kind enough to slow down and wave at the crowd. He just zoomed through Darwin at 130 kilometres an hour, zoom, gone, and no one got to get a photo. Even my photo was slightly blurry, Pauline, but why do you have the Australian flag on the front of his car? Why do you have the Australian flag on the front of his car? And why is President Trump holding a Bible? Does that found countries and stuff in king's domains and stones of remembrance and stuff? Are they all linked together, Pauline? In the international law on the Supreme Court of New South Wales court record, wherein the New South Wales police got directly caught, Pauline. No fucking excuses anymore. Directly caught, named and everything. Every party along the way named, Pauline. Every party along the way named by Justice Lonergan. And you sit there twiddling your thumbs, wondering what the fuck's going on. You're sitting around a bunch of criminals, Pauline. If you look to your left, there's criminals. If you look to your right, there's criminals. Oh, I don't know what to say anymore. We're stuck in the middle with you. There are commies to the left of us, papers to the right. We're stuck in the middle with you. We won't be stuck with the Jews.